Express Sport brings you the latest news from the world of Formula One, including Red Bull's Christian Horner accusing Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes of bitching about their porpoising problems. The Formula One circus makes the grueling trip from Azerbaijan to Canada this week following Max Verstappen's win in Baku on Sunday. The teams and drivers have a short turnaround until the next race this weekend on the other side of the globe. There had been doubts whether Lewis Hamilton would be able to race in Montreal due to Mercedes' porpoising issues causing him back pain. But the Briton has confirmed he will be back in the W13 this weekend, saying, "I've had acupuncture and physiotherapy and am on my way to my team to work with them on improving. We have to keep fighting. I'll be there this weekend, I wouldn't miss it for the world." That's despite Toto Wolff having described the seven-time world champion as doubtful due to the pain caused by Mercedes' problems. Hamilton could be seen slowly clambering out of his car after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at the weekend. Verstappen's victory, and Charles Leclerc's DNF for Ferrari, saw the Dutchman open up a 21-point gap atop the Drivers' Championship standings. The Red Bull driver warned, however, to get a 1-2 for the team was really good. "We've scored some good points today and made the gap bigger to Ferrari. There's still a long way to go, it's a long season, so we need to keep pushing as a team." Verstappen and Leclerc look to break record. Red Bull head into Sunday's Canadian Grand Prix hoping to win in Montreal for the first time since 2019, but title protagonists Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc could break a peculiar record with a pole position. F1 title holder Verstappen currently leads second place Sergio Perez, while Ferrari's Leclerc's 34 points off the pace in third. As it happens, any pole among the trio would be breaking with recent tradition if they manage to capture pole in Canada. That's because Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel and Nico Rosberg are the only drivers to do so in Montreal since 2007. Vettel was still at Ferrari when he grabbed back-to-back poles in 2018 and 2019, a few years after he won 3 straight between 2011 and 2013. Hamilton made it 3 in a row himself, 2015-17, and has claimed 6 Canadian poles in his career, while former Mercedes colleague Rosberg finished fastest in 2014. Hamilton given pantomime dame warning. Lewis Hamilton has been told to not act like a pantomime dame by former F1 star John Watson. The 7-time world champion has found himself in an unfamiliar position this year of not challenging for race wins. Lewis needs to be careful not to act like a pantomime dame, Watson told the Daily Mail. It is a very difficult car to drive, but at 37 the bones are not as forgiving of an uncomfortable ride. This is a whole new world to Lewis. He has had 7 or so years when Mercedes have been dominant, and it's perhaps like a 7-year itch. George looked pretty fresh afterwards and finished third to Lewis's 4th. Lewis maybe needs to recalibrate and spend less time in the air and more in the gym. Verstappen has problem to fix. Joseph Verstappen has told Red Bull what they must help his son Max Verstappen fix to help the Dutchman win the Drivers' Championship again this year: his qualifying performances. "The only thing that's still lacking is qualifying," he wrote for Verstappen.com. Saturday you could see the frustration during the post-session interview because it's not going yet like he wants it to. "If they can sort out the qualifying, things will be easier for him. On street circuits this is even more evident. There is less rubber and he has more difficulty to rotate the car quickly. The good news is that during a race, the Red Bull goes like a rocket. The balance of the car is good. During a longer run the tires behave differently and the car becomes quicker with turning. Max can deal with that very well. Max is great in driving consistent lap times. He can drive every lap 100% accurate, boom, boom, same time. Schumacher labels Hamilton a loser. Ralph Schumacher feels Lewis Hamilton has been the big loser of the season so far, with the 7-time world champion racing in an unfamiliar position this year. Lewis Hamilton is the big loser of the season so far, he told Sky Germany. George Russell was new to the team at the start of the season and is usually ahead of the runner-up world champion and is also stronger in qualifying. The greatest driver of all time, as Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff always calls it, is ironed out by a newcomer in a way that is already worrying. I'm amazed, because there are only two options: either is Russell the new high flyer, or Hamilton had such a strong car in recent years that has made up for a lot. Hamilton defends Schiff. Lewis Hamilton has leapt to the defense of Naomi Schiff, the Sky Sports F1 presenter who was the subject of a derogatory tweet questioning her qualifications for a punditry role. Schiff has joined the Sky Sports team for 2022 but was subjected to abuse online. But Hamilton has now spoken out in support of the former W Series driver, insisting she is totally qualified. Mazepin digs out Schumacher. Nikita Mazepin has taken shots at Haas Mick Schumacher, whose future with the American team has been questioned due to his poor recent form. Russian Mazepin lost his Haas seat just weeks before the opening race of the season after his father's links to Vladimir Putin. Asked about Schumacher's performances, Mazepin told Russian sports channel Match TV, "I would say that the results speak for themselves. That's all I have to do to say." Mazepin added that he has had no contact with Haas since being sacked. He continued, "Why hasn't anyone contacted me? I don't know. But if a mechanic or someone I worked closely with was made redundant, I would send a message on WhatsApp, regardless of my attitude toward them or management."